Solidarity has responded to the plea for help by public enterprises. Minister Pravin Gordhan, the Labour Union, says it's willing to help recruit retired Eskom engineers to return and help the struggling utility. It has submitted a list of about 300 engineers it calls turnaround experts. Solidarity began drawing the list in 2019 when it's first offered to help Eskom. Joining us now to share what is to happen next is Solidarity Research Institute head Connie Mulder. Connie, good evening and thank you very much for your time. Do you think the minister was just making the right noises, or was he really serious about this reach out for help?
We think the minister was being serious. If he was just making the right noises, I think it would have sounded quite differently. And the hour is very, very late at the moment, so we need everyone and all hands on deck to try and save Eskom and turn it around and stabilize it, and in the same process get energy stability in the country. So we're confident that this time that the list that we've whittled down and specifically cater to the skills that Eskom needs will be at least in some instance applied, and that we can get some of these people with vast amounts of institutional knowledge back into the fold and have them transfer these skills so that we can just get an Eskom that runs better and that can keep us out of the dark, at least until we can transition to more decentralized private generation.
Yeah. Some formations within the labor sector have been flabbergasted by this particular move, saying, firstly, that this skills list submitted to the minister is not in line with the HR policies at Eskom. It's something that smells of interference in the duties of the Eskom executive, in particular the HR executive. What's your take?
I think we need to be clear. These aren't going to be employees, from what we understand. At most, it would be fixed-term contracts with a strong emphasis on skills transfer. So, in terms of getting posts at Eskom or jobs at Eskom, I don't think any of the guys on the list are really interested in working for Eskom for the next 10, 20 years. Many of them have worked for Eskom for 10, 20 years. But the feeling that we get from several interviews that we held is they're really saddened by what has happened to the institution that they helped build, and they're quite frankly willing to put up their hand, come back and transfer the necessary skills, just try and stabilize the ship to ensure that the country's lights stay on. So this is we've been consistently since 2019 reaching out the helping hand, saying as a country we cannot afford this energy crisis. Yeah. And we're going to do everything in our power to ensure that we stay out of the dark as much as possible. If other people would like to do the same, we're obviously encouraging them. If other trade unions or any other institution says, look, we've also got some people who we think are able to help, then by all means, please, we need everyone to try and get Eskom as stable as possible, get that energy availability factor up as high as we can with the aging plants, whilst we buy time for South Africa to transition into private generation.
Yeah. How confident are you, and what makes you confident that the 300 that you have identified are the skills that are currently missing at Eskom?
Okay, so we're very confident. We started with, it's about 1,400 people that contacted us and said we're willing to help. Then we had our shop stewards and our sector heads at Eskom itself go through the list of 1,400 people with the skills that Eskom currently require according to their vacancies and their tenders that they put out. And then they whittled it down to roughly 300 guys. In this list of 300, we've got 5,500 years of experience between those people. So we're quite confident this is the right match of skills. These guys, obviously not all 300 are going to be approached by Eskom, but we're confident that the guys that are on the list are the right skills for the situation at the moment. That's why 70% of the people that are on the 300 list is in generation or were in generation. 65% are engineers. I think there's about 400 qualifications with 14 PhDs between all of them. So this is truly a list of the who's who of energy experts in South Africa. And we can do nothing more than simply say, we're here and we've put up our hand, we're willing to help. Now it's up to Eskom and the minister to take this hand and then to hopefully help lead Eskom to a stabler and more brighter future.
Yeah, I have not seen the list myself, so I can't really comment with authority on this, but I don't know if the other labor unions have seen the list, because they are saying that that particular list is a reversal of transformation. It's anti-transformation, and in fact they go to further to say it has a touch of racism.
Okay, that's a cute remark from them. We explicitly asked no one to fill in their race for the simple reason we don't think it should matter at this point in time. If you want to start playing politics with power, other unions are more than welcome to do that. We're not going to go into that game. We simply want to keep the lights on for every single South African in this country. We have no idea what the race composition of the list is. We're not interested in finding out what the race composition of the list is. We quite frankly think it should not matter when the country's energy stability is at stake. Whoever keeps the lights on, we do not care what color that person is or what race that person is, as long as they can come in, help skills transfer, help whoever is working at Eskom at the moment to do their job better, to get some of the institutional knowledge that we lost through the 9 years of state capture back, and then to finally get the economy growing, which will get people off the streets and back into jobs, hopefully, providing for their families.
So you would support, I suppose, a view that says everyone must be given, as you've already mentioned, equal opportunity to apply for the job. So if the other unions have also got a list, it must be submitted, and all those who are selected should be given an equal opportunity to apply for these jobs.
Well, I think we need to just refresh on something. They're not applying for jobs. What we've understood is this will be with a strong emphasis on skills transfer, almost in a mentorship position, that many of these people will be approached with a fixed-term contract, if any, that says we want you to just plain transfer skills to whoever is doing the job at the moment for the next 6 or 8 months to help us get some of the institutional knowledge back. But obviously we encourage any other institution who thinks that they can help with skills to, quite frankly, gather those guys and get them to Eskom's management and to the minister. The more people we can have to choose from, the better. And for other unions, really, please participate in the process and try and solve this problem. That's what we're trying to do. We're of the opinion the energy crisis has become such a burden 15 years in that there's no use in trying to play politics with this anymore. We need to solve this crisis now. We need to solve it very urgently. And that's why we're, at the one hand, trying to stabilize Eskom, why offering skills. It's just plain simply people who said, we're here to help. And on the other hand, really putting the pressure on getting the energy mix right, getting private generation right, so that we can finally get energy stability and get this country's economy growing.
Are there any conditions that the experts have put forward to say, well, we are willing to help, we're here, we are available on condition that?
From what I remember of this, there's not a lot. The vast majority of guys are people who truly simply say, either I worked at Eskom and it saddens me what has become of the institution, I want to make it a proud institution again that's world class, or people who are saying the country cannot afford this energy crisis anymore. We've solved energy problems for Vietnam, well, not for Vietnam, for the Philippines, for Dubai, and we want to come back and apply that knowledge to the country of our birth, the country that we call home. So it's truly people who have quite simply put their hands up and said, the hour is late and we're here to help. And it would be a shame if the minister does not take this helping hand, given the crisis that we're in phase 4 of stage 4 again. I don't think we've got a lot of time left to play politics and to diddle around.
You've done your part. What is your expectation now?
Well, we've now handed over the list to the minister and to the Eskom's management. We will be following up with them what exactly has happened. But from this point on, we're going to go into monitoring and implementing mode. Monitoring mode and making sure that at least Eskom is stabilized as much as possible. We can do that through our members on the ground, our shop stewards there, and then having regular contact with Eskom's board and Eskom's management and asking them, do you need anything else from us? What else can we do to help stabilize Eskom? On the other hand, we're still urging people to start investing in small-scale power generation, and we're continuing with steps to start power generation ourselves and to start generating and selling power for the simple reason we need electrons in the grid, and we need it now. If our members are to have jobs and if South Africa is to grow economically, there is no alternative.
That's Solidarity's Research Institute head there, Connie Mulder. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on tonight here on In Focus. Meanwhile,